Welcome to the LongBox Paradox, episode 89. I am Dan, and this is Jennifer at Comic Books Will Break Your Heart, or Comics Will Break Your Heart on YouTube. The content drought there for the currently.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Content, that's a good way to put it.
It's a drought.
Content drought, it is.
There's a content thirst.
Oh, okay. Are people thirsty for new content on there? I really don't know.
I mean, I say that about this channel. Who cares? Nobody's looking. Last week's video shows that very well.
You know, I think what it is that I like to start off with low expectations. So anything more than the lowest is just, it's easy, right?
Well, I feel like after Friday's episode, it was only going to go downhill.
I'm just going to say the Hickman episode, like...
Well, no. Like, after Friday's episode, which was, like, a high point.
Oh, yeah. Like I thought...
The expectations could only go lower.
Yeah. Because Friday was a good episode. Mostly because of Mars. I'm going to give her all the credit.
Well, I feel like the chat kind of attacked me a lot.
Yeah, that is true.
We went over 1,000 minutes on it. Hey, no. We went over 1,000 minutes on that video.
Ooh.
Only got 200 minutes on the book club one, which I feel like we started out with social justice right off the bat, and probably like a lot of people were like, I just came here for Remender, and like
you seriously, like, you know, maybe you got to ease people into the social justice. Who knows?
Well, it started because we were waiting on you.
That is true.
So I was just like, hey, Gambit, have you heard about this Jay Lee stuff? He's like, no. I was like, oh, well, it's on my mind.
Apparently Jay Lee didn't hear about the Jay Lee stuff either, but oops. Tom King. Oops, my bad, y'all. That's Tom King.
Yeah. The apology, non-apology, and then the hold on, let me put this in writing and just make another Twitter post.
Yeah.
Where he could have just let it die and just go away. But people were like, you're attacking a Korean creator. You're just as bad. It's just like,
Is he though? Is he? I feel like a lot
kind of reaching for reasons to attack him, but
oh, and I think so too. And I think that to me, it feels like that argument of like, I can say dumb racist shit because I have a minority friend. Like, I feel like that's how people were using it. Like, Tom King is, you know, he's against Comicscape, but he's the one attacking an Asian creator. Yeah. He's the racist one. And I'm like, my dudes, like, you're the ones trying to force people out of the industry for just not being a white dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm so tired of talking about it. I feel like talking about it, you just feed into it and then...
Yeah. But we're not going to do that this episode.
No, actually, like, weirdly, there wasn't, like, horrendous stuff that happened before this episode.
You know, the same way that, like, I feel like we set the bar really low here, like, the whole comics book industry has experienced a low. So it's like any week where we don't have just, like, multiple creators outed for racism, misogyny, sexual harassment, you know?
Yeah. Let's start out with this because I found this fascinating. The Universal Studios reached an agreement with AMC Theaters, and I still think this sets a precedent that's going to be harmful to the industry to a degree. 17-day theater window. Yeah. That after 17 days, you can go straight to VOD, where before I want to say it was 30 days or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
I think that 30, I don't know why just over 2 weeks. I think that right now, what the industry needs is we need movies in theater for a little bit longer to make up those sales and not shorter before it goes to video on demand. Like,
I honestly think the whole concept of it is for them to jam as many movies as they can into the houses.
Yeah.
So that way they can get them in. Usually a movie's going to make its money in the first 2 weeks in the theaters, and then they're going to get them right the fuck out.
Yeah. That makes sense, but even for me, I know I've said it before, as much as I want to see certain movies, like it'd be great if Black Widow did a release, but since I'm high risk for COVID and or high risk of dying from COVID, let me say that, I'd prefer to not be in a theater. So even though I want to see these movies, I wouldn't go see it in theater at all. So
Well, even then, like I have a very decent 4K TV and a very nice sound system at my house. So like having it playing at my house on VOD or whatnot, I'm 100% okay with. Like I'd be very comfortable. Yeah, I'd pay $8 more.
yeah, but then you get to so are they whenever they do video on demand, are they going straight to being able to buy and own the movie, or is it just going to be renting the movie?
It's just gonna be renting, like currently, like how they did it with Trolls 2 and stuff, where it went on like Apple, the iMovie and stuff for a rental at a higher rate, and Amazon. Yeah. Which means someone's gonna fucking rip them with their capture card on their computer, and then they'll be on torrents very shortly afterward. Yeah. So, being that Universal struck this agreement, now I know what's going to happen with Candyman.
Yeah,
it's going to come out at whatever select theaters, and then it's going to be on VOD in a minute.
But to be honest, I think that's, to me, I'd rather have some Halloween in a different format than no Halloween at all, right?
Yeah.
So I would much rather be able to watch. Say they go ahead and release Candyman October 1st, October whatever.
October 12th. And
October 12th,
its window to be able to then go to VOD
will
be over right before Halloween. So Halloween night, since it's a weekend, you will be able to go ahead and stream it.
100%. And I mean, like, I've thought about what does my Halloween look like this year, because I just moved to this city. Literally, Halloween was the day that I moved to the city last year. And I'm like, I didn't really get a chance to live it up in Portland. Let me go ahead and I'm going to wait till next year, and I'm really going to do Halloween next year. And obviously that's not going to happen. So I'm like, how can I celebrate it? And I have like a balcony that kind of faces a road. And so I'm like, I'm just going to buy a shit ton of candy, and I'm just going to fucking throw it at people, whether they're trick-or-treating or not.
The way it's going, it's just going to be kids getting tear gassed in costumes.
Yeah, that's it. Well, luckily, I mean, apparently
in the city at least.
Yeah, apparently the governor announced that the federal officers are supposed to be leaving. However, it looks like they are from multiple agencies, and the DHS has said that they are in fact not going to leave. So, go ahead and dress up in a costume, and that'll be the protest.
Just everybody with the V from Citizen V from V for Vendetta just showing up down the streets.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to buy me a gas mask, I know they're sold out, but if anyone, wants to hook a girl up with a gas mask, just throw that out there.
I feel like Natalie would know someone living in Texas that she'd be able to get one.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like army surplus stores and stuff. But I'm sure they're sold out. Like everywhere around here, they're sold out.
I just feel like Texas, like that would be the place to get any of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could be wrong. So on to the reviews. I will let you go first.
Alrighty. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this one out because I think, and for anyone who has never watched these shows, or if you have, you know that we don't reveal like what our picks of the week were. So it's always like a surprise. And you had mentioned, Dan, that sorry, I'm going to put in there. You had mentioned that you had read a book, and I'm going to assume it's this one, which I also read. And I feel like I can't even remember if I read issue 3 or not. To be honest, I don't even know if I read issue 1 and 2, and I know that I read both multiple times, and I'm still kind of lost, but I feel like issue 4, I feel like it got somewhere, even though I don't know where it got. And that's being nice.
It tried to reveal stuff, but at the same time, I don't know what the fuck it was revealing.
No. And Mirka and Dolfo.
Yeah.
Your artwork is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's stunning. It literally like drips off the page.
Get a writer.
But I think that this one needed a different writer, or I don't know what I'm trying to say here, except the one redeeming quality is the artwork. 100%. I've loved all the covers, like all this speculation over the covers and it going out to third, fourth print, whatever. They're amazing, but I'm not feeling the story as much. I still don't know what's going on. At this point, I think I may go ahead and pick up issue 5.
It's 6-issue limited series.
Okay, so at least I know I said I wasn't going to, but I'm probably just going to go ahead and pick up issues 5 and 6 just so I have them. But I don't know if I'm going to torture myself and just go ahead and also pick up the trade paperback, because maybe that'll be a more pleasant read. And I'll have reread this so many times that I'll actually know what's going on. But hate read it, and I'm still in that like love hate. I don't know. I did the done. I can't do it. It frustrates me. Yeah.
And I took a long time for me to drop Gideon Falls, and I'm not letting this become Gideon Falls for me.
I feel like don't even compare this one to Gideon Falls. Gideon Falls is like, okay, I get it. I get the comparison to Gideon Falls, but I just want to say fuck you.
It's a frustrating book. It is.
Yeah, I get that, but I feel like Mercy is even extremely more frustrating. But I think that's just because of all the hype. It was so hyped.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point, the only people who were buying the first couple covers is because they wanted to flip them. The covers were beautiful, blah, 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 speculators. But I don't feel like I know anyone who's reading it and enjoys it. If you're out there, let me know.
I saw someone on Instagram talk about how excited they were to pick it up, and I don't remember who. I just remember I started like instantaneously having my fingers start typing, and I was like, no.
You're like, no, I won't ruin them, but
I did the backspace, and just put the phone down.
Step away. So I don't know what you would have rated it, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it like a 4 out of 10. And that's just because the series has been so lackluster. It's not even that this was a dip in the issue or an even better issue. It's really just like, I don't get what's going on. And it gets a 4, a 3, 4, whatever. It gets that just because of the artwork.
4 sounds fair. Again, like I'm reading it going, now they're introducing this whole other thing into it, and this hallucinating voice talking to her, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm just like, I just want to end this issue and move on and like palate cleanse.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was like one of your picks of the week, but I knew that I wanted to talk about how much I just still don't enjoy it yet.
No, it
I'm
wasn't
waiting for a yet, and it's not.
It wasn't a pick, but it definitely was like a hate read.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I was watching They Live, and I was reading at the same time, and I was just like, all right, I don't know why I'm spending the money on this on Comixology, but just let me go in and just... So I didn't have time to go to my comic store, because now they're opening later, so they don't open until close to noon.
I had that experience, kind of that experience at my shop today, because normally they would open up at 10, and I'm like, oh, well, I think that they open up at 11. Got there literally like took a lift to the other side, got there at 11, and I was like, shit, they're not open. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just go ahead and walk to a coffee shop that I like nearby. That coffee shop wasn't open, so I ended up just like walking around the neighborhood for a little bit, and ended up getting some food. And I mean, it was all right. It wasn't bad, dude. But yeah.
So
yeah, what's your next pick?
Ascender number 11.
Okay.
There was no way I wasn't picking up, because it had Driller. Driller is a real killer.
Driller's a real killer.
I found this issue to be so damn charming.
Aww.
With
and this
Driller.
If you don't mind me asking, this is the start of a new arc, correct?
Yes.
Got it. So I haven't read it yet.
It's the second part of the new arc, because there was that gap between the issues now, so I'm kind of confused of what was the real gap and what was.
So I guess my question is, Volume 2 ended at what issue?
Probably 10, I'd imagine.
I'm looking at my stack because I literally just read it, but I'm not going to try to pull it out of here.
Did you read it already?
No, I didn't read it.
Oh, okay.
So don't spoil it, but except for Driller's a real killer.
Yeah, Driller reappears with another character from Descender who we haven't seen since. Turns out he's a magic user.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about what happened and the vamps coming up from the inner planet. Driller and Mila hit it off. And Driller just becomes kind of endeared with her. And of course, Telsa's there, and they're trying to go into space.
Okay. So,
and, yeah.
Volume 2 did end at issue 10.
Okay, so this is the new arc.
So this is the new, like, this will be the start of whatever Volume 3 ends up being.
The interesting thing, Driller and the other guy kind of go into what their experience was after the Descenders came and kind of sent everybody away. And Driller calls, oh god, I forget the name of the dog, but he calls him Yapping Robot. It was really charming, especially Driller. I don't know why Driller, as little things as he says, is such like kind of an endearing character.
I think it's kind of like that sidekick, like Lion Cat, and how she, like, one of the moments that I remember from Lion Cat is whenever the slave girl, and I can't recall slave girl's name, but slave girl has that moment where she's like, things were done to me and I'm a dirty person because of these things that were done to me. Yeah. And then Lion Cat comes up and says lying. So I feel like it's not even just the moment. It's not about Lion Cat's dialogue, because Lion Cat says one fucking thing, and then once again it goes to characters like Groot who just say I am Groot, but it's not really what's said but what's implied in the response. Yeah. So but I like Driller a lot.
I am a strong 8 out of 10 on this. Okay. I really love this issue. I mean, Dustin Wynn's art, just fucking magnificent, and more I like Mila like better than Tim.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Sid, if she ever watches this, will probably smack me for it, but I don't care.
Yeah.
So your next pick.
Alrighty, so my next pick, let's see. I feel like I have more than 3 picks, so I may go ahead and just. Okay, cool. So I got Hedra, and this one
came close to picking that up.
Oh man, it's good. It was a little bit more pricey because it's $5.99 and it's a one shot, as opposed to like the $2.99, $3.99, whatever. But what I really liked about it is that it has such a simple artwork style, and I feel like it's more of that retro futuristic style.
That is a lot of panels for just the same image.
Oh, it really is. But the way that it tells the stories is just absolutely beautiful. And all I really knew when I picked this up is that it's like a post-apocalyptic story in space, which anything described as that, I will 100% go ahead and get. But because the artwork style is so simplistic, there's no dialogue in it. Like, it's all just, the story's just inferred from what you get from the pictures, and I really enjoyed it. I know I read it, and I don't know if it's because I was getting ready for today's episode, and I'm like, okay, let me just read this one really quick. But I feel like I read it quicker than I needed to, so I'm probably going to go ahead and read it again just to feel like I really get the story, and without, because you don't learn any of the characters' names, but you think about the character and like you're rooting for the character, and I feel like that type of storytelling is like, I love it. So it's done by Jesse Lonergan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it's put out by Image, which everyone in here should know that when Image comes out with something, I'm almost always going to buy it. Unfortunately, that's how I got Mercy. But
The
this
hype.
one, yeah,
The
the
hype
hype.
got you.
Honestly, there doesn't even need to be hype. I'm just like, I'm already hyped about anything Image does, so I'm just going to go ahead and buy it. But this one I really liked, and because it's a one-shot, I don't think this is giving away too much, but, you know, the artwork style, I really, really liked it.
I was like, is that Dr. Manhattan's OnlyFans?
Yeah, exactly. Come to my OnlyFans where you will see comic book thirst trap pictures. So yeah, this one is great. I don't think a lot of people will pick this up because it's not going to be a speculator issue. It's not like it's going to be like, oh, this is the first appearance of someone, or, you know, this is going to be the great new series, because it is a one shot. But I really, really liked it, and man, it's good. I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. And the only reason why I would maybe give it not a full 10 is because I actually want more, and it's just a one shot. So
is that magazine sized or?
It is. And
okay.
Not that it sucks, but I don't have any magazine boards and bags right now. But I've got like a stack of 20 that I need. But right now I'm just not going to justify buying 100 of them for the like 20 that I need. So.
Oh, my shop sells them piece by piece, 50 cents per.
Yeah.
Because when the black labels were all going around when that started, he bought a bunch of them. So now he's stuck with 100 of them.
Yeah.
So
what's your next pick?
The Plunge number 5.
And that's
by Hill House.
6-issue series or
1 issue left.
Got
One
it.
issue left. I've enjoyed this series. Sometimes the plot seems a little basic. This issue, they reveal what these sea creatures are that are inhabiting human flesh bags that are dead.
Flesh bag.
Yes.
I just had to reiterate flesh bag, because that's how I identify is flesh bag.
So basically, there's 2 ways to look at them. There's the way the book called them, and then what they, I think, more or less are. So the creatures, they reveal that in the hatch is basically an egg, and the creatures are basically the sperm trying to fertilize it. Or they'd be drones trying to, so that's
that escalated quickly.
That's what the big revelation is in the issue. I guess spoilers, but there's a lot of shit that goes on in this issue that just they reveal more and more. There's a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of treachery. I've enjoyed the series, and again, like, it's every like science fiction underwater trope though you get hit with, even though like I've at one point I'm like reading it going, this is Alien versus Predator, like with that getting the team together to go on a rescue dig. Stuart Immonen's art is fucking great. Again, he's one of those artists that I think might be underappreciated, but I wouldn't say the art's like spectacular, but it's always like super solid panel to panel storytelling. I'm probably about a 6.5 on it. Like,
the way you talked about it, I figured that you would give it a higher rating, but
I liked it. It like, again, like, I feel like I'm getting hit over the head with tropes constantly, where some of the originality just isn't there, and I'm getting a little too critical with it. Like, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not going to say it's a great story.
Got it. I know that I got the first couple issues, but then never kept up with it. Do you think it would be worth getting? Do you feel like the last issue is going to like land? And
I feel like this book in general is a better trade read.
Okay.
where you can just hit it all in one shot since it's 6 issues,
Mm-hmm.
and you're probably going to pay a cheaper price for it.
Yeah. So that's why, like, I've been thinking, I'm like, okay, a lot of these books that I ended up getting, like, the first 2-3 issues of and never kept up with, should I just go ahead and sell the single issues to pay for the trade? So if anyone wants to swap, I'll give you.
I mean, if you're capable, like a lot of these books are ones that like not really value. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Where I'm lucky if I get, like,
yeah,
my $3.99 back.
yeah. Like I said, like Vault. I think it was Vault or Scout had that Vlad Dracula book that came out the other week, and I couldn't warrant the $7.
You know, my local shop didn't get it, and it was one of those where I'm like, I'm not going to add it to my pull list until I read the first one, and they didn't get it, so I didn't order it. And I even actually just ordered a couple things from Scout, from their website, and didn't pick it up either. However, I read Dracula Motherfucker.
Awesome. We'll talk about that after we.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was good that you got to space it away from Philadelphia without that kind of affecting your reading of it, because too many vampire books too close to each other.
Yeah. And especially because this one also deals with some like history, like timeline change type things. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
So I assume you want me to go ahead and talk about my next pick of the week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so I've got a couple other ones to talk about. However, this one's really special, so I do just want to include it in my top 3. Not that Mercy was in my top 3. I just wanted to get that shit out of the way. However, so this one's actually from a local creator and friend who works at my local comic book shop. It's called The Prince and the Pea. So it's kind of like a more magical storytelling of the princess and the pea, but through a queer lens. So I know that seems kind of vague, but it was really adorable. As the owner of the shop said, it was very wholesome. So I really liked it. It was a very nice, I don't want to call it a palette cleanser, but like normally my brand is just like weird sci-fi stuff. And this one,
I weirdly started looking at that cover and I'm like, wait, is that Prince? I was looking at the beard and the.
Yeah.
I was like, please tell me that's not Prince.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed this one. So Nick, if you watch this, like the artwork, it did it for me. The story was just very charming and endearing. And basically, you know, what happens is that there's this prince and his mother and father are trying to get him to find a queen so his full like magical powers can come to life. And, you know, eventually he'll need to rule the kingdom with a lady by his side. And he knows that like all the women that he is going to date just aren't going to do it for him for obvious, well, maybe not like obvious, but they're not going to do it for him because he's gay and he doesn't want to have a princess. He wants to have another prince. So this one was really great. I really hope that there's more. I'm not sure if there's going to be. And even I was like, because Nick was in the shop, the gentleman who created this, and I'm like, Nick, like, tell me about it. Like, what if I had to say something, like, what would I say? And he's like, it's right there in the beginning, and you know, a retelling of the fairy tale, The Princess and the Pea, but with a little more magic and just a little bit gayer, and that totally sums it up. It's so wholesome and it's so good, and it doesn't end in tragedy, which is also incredible. It's available at Books with Pictures.
Would that be on their website or only in store? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So you can go to bookswithpictures.com. You can email them at, I think, bookswithpictures@gmail.com and probably order it. So.
Okay. And what was was that your pick, or is that your just selling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like this totally, like, he printed this like a week or so ago, and I'm like, oh my God, I need a copy. So even though it's not like, distributed by Diamond or anything like that, I really liked it. But I think that everyone should, if you know a magical queer person in your life, you should buy this for them. I know a lot of magical queer people, and I think you need to buy it. All the queer people I know are magical, but solid 9 out of 10 for me. So
Wow.
what's your next pick, Dan?
It's another Image title. It's Black Magic number 12.
Yeah.
I love Greg Rucka as a writer, and Nicholas Scott, her art is just fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
What is bad, though, is this book has not come out since March of 2018.
Yeah. I haven't read it. Sorry.
So
I haven't. Yeah.
It's very hard to pick up after 2 years and try to remember where it left off.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my critical complaint. Nicholas Scott's art is fantastic. Eventually, stuff started coming back to me about what happened before, except there is a little bit of personal conflict between her and her partner that I don't remember why. Because, again, it's been 2 years. So you might want to flip through the last 3 issues before this just to kind of get back.
So it's funny because I read Volume 1, like right after Volume 1 was published, and this last year I bought Volume number 2. I was anticipating reading it for my 100 book challenge, but didn't get to it, and now I'm just ending the month with like some solid good reads with East of West and Saga. Like I'm just gonna go for comfort food to finish this off. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that issue 12 was coming out. Let me go ahead and read Volume 1 and Volume 2, and then I'll read this one. Didn't read those 2 volumes, so I'm glad I know that, because I'll probably just go ahead and read the first 2 volumes and then read this one.
There is some pretty solid sex scenes in this.
Yes.
Oh,
sorry.
Full-on Nicholas Scott dong drawings.
Ooh.
Overall, good issue. Again, just that my downside.
I'm gonna go read this really quick for educational purposes. I'll be back, y'all.
You can just flip to the middle and you'll be there. Like there's a full spread in the bed.
That is a boy howdy.
Page 14.
I have no clue what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, like it's just full on like, oh, hi there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
So like I said, the downside of this book was just not knowing where it left off after 2 years, which shame on you, Greg Rucka and Nicholas Scott, for making us have to wait for 2 years. Yeah. Actually, longer than 2 years.
I feel like there was because it's been 2 years since Volume 2 came out. I feel like there was also a pretty long period between Volume 1 and Volume 2 coming out.
Only like a few months.
Okay,
it wasn't
so
that bad
maybe that's
yet.
just my perception. So.
No, I mean, this is making the Saga hiatus look like light.
I'm on a Saga Facebook group, so thank you, Kim, for introducing me to that. But they do a Saga watch, and it's like, okay, did anything get announced yet? Did Brian K. Vaughan say anything? Did Fiona Staples say anything? And then the last one that we got from this month was basically, okay, Saga's still not solicited for October, so we're
I have a possible theory of when it comes out.
When's that?
So how would you want to end a horrible year?
For them discontinuing it? If they said that we're not doing Saga ever?
No, if you wanted the end of your year to be good.
Oh, so if they redeem 2020. if Saga
So
came out
my
at the
guess
end,
would be December 30th.
okay, is
It's
that
a
a Wednesday
Wednesday.
then? Okay,
Yeah.
that would be the one redeeming quality of 2020, and I think that if I knew Saga was going to come out on December 30th of 2020 and I didn't get Dune in November, that would be the one thing that I'd be like, okay, I'm not getting Dune. I can handle this year without going batshit crazy on someone.
What if a quarter to midnight we get Alan Moore and Grant Morrison's Wizard War to happen?
I have
And it was
I
pay
talked
per
about
view.
it. I 100%. But I posted this on my Instagram earlier. Apparently, George R.R. Martin said something along the lines of, if Winds of Winter isn't released by June 29th, 2020, you can lock me in a cage. So, you know, Germ, I got a cage for you.
Yeah. How do you like Portland?
Yeah, how do come to Portland, bro? I
Yeah,
got you.
because someone freezing cold takes, which usually is for sports, posted that, and I was like, oh, George. Watch though, he'll drop the book the last day, be like, fuck you.
Yeah,
And I'd be okay
that
with
would be that. I don't know. I'm conflicted because as someone who I appreciate what artists do and I appreciate the work that creators put into things, but and I understand art takes time, and if the writing of this book makes up for the last season of Game of Thrones, the TV show, I'll be okay. But at the same time, I'm like, my dude, you write for a living. Right. Like Game of Thrones hasn't been here for over a year. Like what you said that you haven't really been involved in the show writing process for a minute. Like I don't know. And I know that it's not his responsibility to get it out because whatever, but man, I want Winds of Winter. That's me
yeah.
being selfish.
He kind of said he's written himself into a corner too with some of the characters.
Just kill them off. I don't give a shit. Like, just describe a beautiful food scene where they like eat food that you want to fuck, and then just they get food poisoning and then they die. Like, whatever. Just give me Game of Thrones.
I mean, oh god, like it's funny because like if people who watch the show like go to that book and go, wait, this person's alive? What the fuck is going on?
And like seriously, I want to know what the hell is going on with Lady Stoneheart. I watched like at least 5 seasons of Game of Thrones where I'm like, Lady Stoneheart's going to be here. I assure you, Lady Stoneheart's going to pop up. That'll be so cool if Lady Stoneheart comes up. And then she didn't. And so.
I mean, they have sand snakes that don't suck in the book.
Yeah. And there's more of them instead of just 3. There's like 9 of them or something.
Yes, my favorite though, and she's not even the sand snake. The daughter, who didn't actually show up in the show, the one who was just fucking people left and right.
Yeah.
My favorite sand snake. Anywho,
so do I get to go from or wait, who's next pick?
Yes,
is it?
I had 7.5 out of 10 on this.
Okay. Do you feel like that? Because not necessarily that's like a mediocre rating, but knowing that the artwork is great, that you like the story, is that rating just because it's been so long?
Yes, it's 100% because you have to go back and read to be able to pick it back up because it's been 2 years. Like Saga, I'm not going to forget where that ended, so not anytime soon.
So, like, speaking of which, like, everyone, I hope anyone who's watching or is going to watch whatever, you know that, like, Saga's my favorite series, and it just continually breaks your heart. And I've been doing this, like, 100 graphic novel book challenge, which I'm, like, days away from finishing. So I'm reading East of West right now, and then tomorrow I'm going to start on reading Saga over the course of 2 days. And I was like, oh, Saga's going to be easy. I love Saga. I love this series. But thinking about reading like 9 volumes of just continual heartbreak, I think that that'll be my breaking point, is reading Saga again. So we'll see if I end up here on August 1st. I may be completely broken by the end of this month.
I just remember, like, I had got the omnibus for my ex, and it started getting near the end of that omnibus. She's like, if this person dies, I'm gonna fucking rage. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, just keep reading. And then she got to that point, and she goes, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate this book. Fuck you. Fuck this book.
But you still want to read it. Like, I keep going back for more.
But
so,
like, seeing someone else's reaction to what happened as them reading it for the first time, and they blew through all 53 issues within less than a week.
So I feel like I had that moment. I was watching Game of Thrones whenever the, no, it wasn't the wedding. It was the episode where the mountain and
the Red Viper
and the Red Viper were fighting. And my friend who was watching at the time, he was like, he's my favorite character. I can't wait for him to just destroy the mountain. And I'm like, yep. Okay. And had to watch that episode where, like, you think that the Red Viper is going to win because he's like, yeah. And then the mountain comes behind him and does, the.
Yeah.
So just watching someone go from, like, here to there, it was kind of beautiful because I've been there. But.
Show Red Viper so much better than book Red Viper. But I think Pedro Pascal just nailed that character, and kind of the way, they made him pansexual.
Yes, and I think that
they allude to it in the book, but they were never as like, hey, I'm here.
Exactly, and him just kind of. So once again, it sucks because that happens a lot, right? Like, queer characters, whether they are gay, bisexual, trans, gender non-conforming, they end up in tragedy, and it sucks because I would really love to see.
But he wasn't in tragedy because of what he was into, though. He was.
No. And in all honesty, like, everyone meets tragedy at some point in that book, no matter what. But I'd
say hubris was his tragedy, because he fucking started doing flips around the fucking pit instead of just ending it like he should have.
Yeah.
But anyway, Pedro Pascal was so good as that, and then now he's the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your pick?
My next pick. Sorry, my cat is like right here, so I'm like, are you gonna jump up here or not, dude? Like, make up your mind. Shit or get off the pot.
Is that your deaf one?
Yeah, that's my deaf one. So he doesn't hear me. He doesn't hear me insulting him like this. He just, he knows when. Oh, he did. Okay, he did it. So yeah, Luna, what was your pick? Okay, he doesn't know how to read. He's a cat. So anyways, my next pick. Those are my first three, but Bleed Them Dry. So when I read issue number 1 of this, I had read that week, and this week too, Dead Body Road came out, That Texas Blood came out, Sleeping Beauties came out, and I'm just like, I fucking hated all of these. And then Bleed Them Dry was like, it was spectacular, and not just because I read a lot of shit. But this one was actually really good. I read this one really, really quick. I didn't get a chance, but I really like where this is going. I think for a lot of people, they're going to prefer to read the trade on this one. But I don't necessarily want to give this one a rating because I read it very, very quickly. But what I read, I really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed the first one. And it's Vault, and Vault has just been like killing it with titles lately.
What was your rating on it? I still haven't read Bleed Them Dry.
I don't, like I said, I don't necessarily want to give it a rating because I read through it so quickly, but I really enjoyed issue 1. And from what I read on this one, I really enjoyed it. So we'll see.
I guess this is my fourth pick, but whatever. Nailbiter Returns number 3 came out.
I'm surprised you didn't talk about that one before, but
this is like the last one I read right before we went on the air.
got it. Okay.
Because I got to it late because I eventually did pass out. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with all these people that are taking on the personas of former serial killers from Buckaroo. Like we have a guy in the theater sitting by himself with 3D glasses with a knife and popcorn. I think he's supposed to be the silent movie killer. And then we have these 2 people rolling up on him in the theater, and he's like, "No, that's not fair. You're cheating. The terrible 2 only killed twins. I'm not a twin. This is against the rules." And they say rules are made to be hit in the head with a hammer, and they kill him in the theater. They amped up the blood and gore quite a bit from the last one. It feels a little purge-ish at times.
Oh, wow.
Very Alice-centric.
Okay. It's funny because the covers seem to be very gory anyways.
Yes.
Like the cover, and I can't recall what the covers of the single issues look like before this
Fairly
Returns
gory.
comeback. But there's always a lot of blood and gore on the covers of the new one.
It's weird seeing Alice with blonde hair. She looks more like her mom now. And a lot of action going on. Warren gets free. He's been held captive by Agent Finch. He's got a bro beard now. And he's having these hallucinations of Little Biter, and there's a guy with a thumb for a head, and he starts eating his head. And then, like, the guy launches thumb missiles at him off his fingers. Like, he's
like
getting
that?
like Robotech, where it's just like he's like biting the missiles.
Can you just do that one more time? I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not quite a.
Boom. I love Carl Sagan.
So some of the gore that we get to see is him kind of going sick house on a clown. Everybody hates clowns.
Yeah.
And then it ends with, remember that ghost character that was in the mortuary, or where they're doing the autopsy? It ends showing that character with two Tommy guns. And they're like, basically the girl who's dressed as blonde goes, "Don't you get it? The game is on. The Buckaroo Butchers are back, and you're all so totally fucked." And it ends.
I feel like, I don't know how long this series is going to be, but I feel like what you just said at the end of issue 3 should have happened in issue 1. Like, I feel like that's like the line that they would drop at the end of issue 1. Not saying, that they're, because I feel like that was kind of my critique of Decorum, was that just forget issues 1 and 2, just pick up 3.
Issue 1, though, I think had to set up the whole what Alice and Finch had been up to, and where the mom being missing, and what Alice has been kind of dealing with, or the fact that she was going to serial killer bars that worshipped her dad.
Yeah. Are they in Buckaroo, or are they
They're back in Buckaroo.
Okay. Because I didn't read.
I think just that first issue was in Portland.
Okay.
Because of course Josh Williamson lives in Portland, so of course he has to try and incorporate that in. I'm probably at a 7 on it. It was good, but not the greatest issue. Like, there's a lot of moving, like, spinning plates in it that they're kind of not explaining.
Got it. Do you think that'll now? This is and it'll be an ongoing series, right? Like, it's not.
It sounds like it.
Series. Okay.
At least maybe if anything else, like a maxi series.
Yeah, like a 12 issue or something.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go more than 12 issues though.
Okay.
I'd say 25 might be probably because the original series was 32.
Okay. Part of me was like 25. That's not a lot, and I'm like, wait, that's 5 volumes, 5 6
Yeah,
volumes, depending on how you do it. So.
because it ended with 6 volumes
Hmm.
for series one.
I wouldn't
Um,
be surprised if it was like a 3 volume, like if it just went like 15 or 16 or something.
I again like the art just fits the book, and they all look like they're having fun doing it again. Like Mike Henderson's going a little further with the art in it, where it feels a little less restrained.
Okay.
They're
Like,
letting
do
him
you
do a
say
little
that?
bit more.
Do you say that because of like the more gore in it?
That could be, and some of the character designs are like getting to show more of these like crazy character designs. In the first book, you only saw like just a little sketch
Yeah.
of as the former killers, and now you're getting to see them a little bit more fleshed out. Which that also could be Josh Williamson like having fun with these
Yeah.
characters because they're fucking ridiculous. The clown
Yeah.
car killer,
Yeah.
and that is my last pick.
That's pretty much like all of the ones that I really enjoyed. I knew the like 5 that I wanted to read before the show, just to figure it out. So that was
Yeah,
mostly,
I downloaded the last Kill Lock, but I didn't get to it.
yeah. That I feel bad because volume 1, or sorry, issue 1, like I enjoyed, but I think that I got into it a little bit too late. And then I was just like, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just pick up the trade.
I think it's a better trade read.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, at least. Okay, so Dracula motherfucker.
Dracula motherfucker. Okay, whenever you said that you had read it, it sounded like you didn't really care for it. And I read it, and like, granted, I read it really, really quick, but I'm going to go back and read it again. I really enjoyed it.
Oh no, I liked it. It was just after Philadelphia, like there's such different entities, but yet the same genre. I was like, I needed a little bit of space in between because,
Yeah.
like, I read, Philadelphia, and then I read that, and I'm just like, okay, this is good, but I feel like I wish I hadn't read Philadelphia before it
Got
because
it.
they're such totally different entities. Where, did you read the stuff that the Campy wrote in the beginning of like what the kind of origins of it were?
About like
How like
exploitation film type stuff.
yeah, and they were treating it like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood instead of
Yeah.
So going into that, knowing that, I thought that was interesting. I also was surprised it's actually like an OGN and not an actual
OGN.
comic. Um,
Oh, got it.
yeah, it's just a graphic novel, 72-page graphic novel. That just hit the solicits for October 7th.
Okay. I think that'll be a good Halloween read. But if
For anybody familiar with the artist, it's Erica Henderson, which Squirrel Girl. So you know what kind of art you're getting into when you get into it. I set like I think it's like a solid 7 for me.
okay. For me, I thought it was like at least an 8. I really enjoyed it.
I didn't like the Dracula. If
I could get that, but then I think that I read it's going to be more about like the brides.
oh yeah, it's more about the brides. It's just the
Yeah.
character design of the
Yeah.
Dracula I didn't like.
Okay.
Like, why the fuck would these brides even be with this like thing?
Yeah.
And then it has a little bit of Hollywood history in it with Bebe Buell.
Why did I when I was reading it, and I think that I watched it a very long time ago. I haven't watched it recently, like at all. But what is it? Only Lovers Left Alive.
Oh, it's been oh god, I haven't watched that in a long time.
So I don't know why. Whenever I read it, that was the kind of feeling that I got from it, and it could be very loose because, like I said, it's been such a long time since I actually watched that. So
yeah, is that the one with oh, fuck.
Tilda Swinton, right?
Was it Tilda Swinton? Is that the one with Tom? I don't think it
Hiddleston.
was Tom Hiddleston. Mm, mm, mm. not Kate Blanchett, is it? No.
Is it? I can't recall. It's seriously been that long, but that's what I was just thinking of.
Oh, it's Tilda Swinton.
Okay, got it.
Tom Hiddleston, Mia Wasikowska, and Anton Yelchin when he was still alive.
Rest in power, dude.
God, I still remember that Star Trek movie where he's playing Chekhov, and oh God, I can't remember. He kept saying the Vector. Yeah, so I enjoyed this book. It was completely different to what I was reading. The art style took a little bit for me to get used to because it's, for a horror book, it's cartoony sort of.
It is, and it's the colors too are a lot more vibrant.
Yes.
Like, and maybe that's why comparing it to Philadelphia, because Philadelphia is darker, and I feel like okay, dude, the artwork is darker, and then the colors are darker too. So like comparing the two, I think I don't necessarily want to play the game of like don't read or instead of this, read this, because I think that they're both pretty cool.
They're different beasts.
They really are, and I think that Dracula motherfucker is going to go into a completely different place than Philadelphia did, even though I loved Philadelphia.
The one thing, like, it's weird because I was left thinking, are the brides just as bad as Dracula because they're doing the same kind of thing? Yeah. At least you get the idea of that at the end. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like for me, it's like a solid 7. Like I don't know if it's an 8. Like I could go either way, and plus, like seeing where it possibly goes, it's something I will pick up again, mm-hmm. and I'll buy when it comes out.
Yeah. So you said that it's going to be like just a graphic novel, that they're not going to do single issues with it?
No, it's just an OGN. Like
I'll still buy it.
Yeah, it's 72 pages, so I mean it's chunky book.
Yeah, it'll probably be around that like $16.99, $19.99.
I think it was $16.99. I'm down for it. Like again, like I'm always in that weird situation. I'm thirsty for new books all the time.
Yeah. Got the thirst.
Yeah, especially horror books, because like there's just not enough. Hey Vigilante, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining. And if you just joined in, we just started talking about Dracula motherfucker. We read the preview, we liked it, and pick it up in October. Like it's totally worth picking up.
I think it'll be a good October solicitation, and I think that one thing for me, like I've mentioned it before, when it comes to horror comic books, it's really hard to do the horror medium in comic books because, like, when I watch a film, it's a lot more intense and like build up, where a build up to a scene could last like 10-15 minutes to like really like the music behind it and just watching what's going on, where in a comic book it's hard to do like page by page, panel by panel, because the scenes in movies can be so intense, but it literally means watching like the same scene, the same thing for like 15 minutes, where if I did that in a graphic novel, that would take up at least 30% of the whole book.
Yeah, the writer did a good job on this.
Is it Alex DeCampi?
Yeah, Alex DeCampi with Erica Henderson on art. It's interesting you said that in the horror movies, like you have that music that helps the build up, because I remember I was watching a documentary on Halloween, and a rough cut that they showed to studios didn't have the score. And people walked out saying this movie isn't scary. Like, why are you even showing it to us? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the thing that happened was everybody knew the score to that movie and how much it helped it. So, like, it makes a huge difference, the score. It really does. And there's a lot of movies where you say, like, The Exorcist, would it be as scary with... I mean, it'd still be scary, but, like, that Tubular Bells that always played in between the scenes.
Yeah, and I think too, knowing some of the history between it. Okay, so here's something that I was thinking about. I picked up a whole bunch, well, because I always pick up dumb shit, and I end up with a lot of like extra trades. And so I've got a stack of like 6 or 7 trades of things that I accidentally have duplicates. And I was thinking, I'm like, we should do a giveaway because I don't know where I put. Okay, here they are. So I have duplicates of literally all of this. I've got Aquaman. I've got Clean Room Volume 3. I Hate Fairyland.
100% on this Vigilante. Suspiria without that score by Goblin does not fucking work.
Yeah. So I've got some stuff. Someone wants them.
Are you close to 1,000 followers on your Instagram?
I just hit 4,000.
Oh. Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. I literally hit 4,000 like 2 days ago. I don't know how the hell that happened.
I guess the 5,000 person giveaway on your or you could save it for your channel and have like you hit 500 subscriber giveaway or
yeah, but I feel like it'll still without going online and harassing people to go and like follow for follow. I feel like trying to get to like several hundred. How about a giveaway? All the fucks Jen has left to give in 2020. 0. Let's be honest. I started this year with 0 fucks. That's why I think that's been like the one thing that I've been able to maintain this year is my lack of fucks given it all. So started with none, ending with none.
Let's see. I started the year in a depression and suicidal. Hey, I'm almost still there.
Aw. I feel the person that I met at the beginning of the year is not completely different, but
Did we meet at the beginning of the year? I feel like
no, it was in December, really.
Oh yeah. Oh well, you reached out to me, but we didn't start interacting on here till I think February, maybe January. I don't remember.
Maybe
January.
Can't recall.
And I still don't have anything figured out with this Dune over. Like Cinia gave the vague Monday or Tuesday.
And Monday and Tuesdays, my schedule now that does.
Well, I'm off this week, so I could do it if we needed to.
I could do Sunday. That's like the only day that may work for me.
I have to
or any day after 5.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I got to talk to her because again, I'm off this coming week, so I could do. You clearly haven't watched the Hickman episode. If you want to see Jen and I struggle, realizing we know nothing about the subject we're talking about.
Well, I think what it was, and let's be honest, when I think about talking about Hickman, I think about how much I loved East of West and how that story is just like poetry to me. But when I think about describing the series without giving something away,
it's hard.
It's hard because, and it's hard to be, I can't just give you a Hickman dump. Okay. I can't just I don't have an infographic to give you the family tree of what's going on or anything. And then when I think about what he did with House of X, Powers of X, I'm like, I just love it. I just love what he did with X-Men. I think he's doing great. I love this X-Men. It's reinventing X-Men in such a fantastic way. And that's about it without going too spoilery. So,
it was not a Tom King episode. It was not.
I'm only going to, I want to refer to it as the Mars episode because I think that she was Like, she made the show incredible.
She sent me a message saying that she thought she overstepped. And I was like,
what? No.
I was like, no, like, I was like, what we do is like a discussion between friends. Like, that's why we don't have a script. We don't have a format. Like,
yeah.
I will say, like, there's a point, like, maybe when the year ends, I'm going to do a clip show and edit some of the better moments together, because, that'll be in there.
Peasant. Oh my God, Tom Peasant. Love it.
Like, 100% in my head, there is one of the most super awkward moments on the show, when I kind of confront Gambit about him tattooing nail biter on my ex, and then him going, well, she needed to suffer, and like, I just wanted to announce it was the Black Hammer episode, like the last couple of minutes, and I was just like, and he starts laughing at me, going, that's real funny, that's only two of you in like probably this state that have those same like tattoos from books. I was like, and him laughing that I like had a breakdown and gave away all my shit.
I still think that we should do a tattoo episode where we talk about either our comic book tattoos or tattoos in comic books.
The Tom King stuff from last episode, some of that would make it in.
Yeah.
I feel like definitely everything with the lighthouse.
Yeah, that was good. And then my just whoop.
The CD-ROM.
CD-ROM exchange. Boy, howdy.
The punchline.
But you're the joke.
Gambit Spacey goes, what are you?
And I feel bad because, like, to anyone watching who doesn't know what I'm referring to, you know, Punchline, this new DC character that's Joker's new henchwoman. It's her whole marketing is that she's the new henchwoman of the Joker. And I just recall a page. I can't even like find it now, and I don't know if I just made it up, but her whole thing is just, you're the joke and I'm the punchline.
Oh no, she says it in 3 different books.
Okay. Oh, so then I didn't imagine it. Like I tried to find it, and I'm like, am I going crazy? Because I saw something where she said like, and I'm the punchline, and I'm like, okay.
I will pull the panel and post it on Instagram just because I think it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Amazing.
There should be a dare that when Dan loses, he has to get a. Wait, what exactly?
What am I gonna lose?
Yeah, you're like, I have nothing left to lose.
Speaking of nothing left to lose, so after the book club episode, I posted that we're gonna do Philadelphia for August, and I tagged Rodney Barnes in and shot my shot, and he commented he would love to come on. So once we get a date locked in, we're probably going to be talking with Rodney Barnes and trying to be professional, like we know what we're doing.
I'm going to try to be on my best behavior. I don't know what that means yet. I can't make any promises, but I will try not to make any cloaca jokes, and I will try not to make, I don't know, any hanging dong jokes or...
I'm just going to talk the process, and I saw that he participated in the Wu-Tang biopic series that they had on, so I have a lot. So yeah, it has to be on a live stream. Getting tattooed, not just doing Dan Robbins. I don't think anybody needs to see me getting tattooed live.
I don't know. I think the tattoo process sometimes is just so boring.
Yep.
And like, I remember having, because I have a fairly large like piece on my thigh. I have a big space octopus on my leg, and I was telling my tattoo artist, she's female and she's absolutely fantastic. I'm like, I feel like this is some like basic dude's wet dream. It's just like watching a girl get tattooed by another girl. and like you're just all up in my business, and I'm like, this is some dude's like wet dream, but I'm like, it's nasty. I'm sweaty and dying right now, but
I usually, most of mine take like 5 hours.
this one's fairly large, so I don't know how many hours were put into it, but I know it was at least like 4 sessions.
My
So.
Green Goblin took a long time. And it was really painful. And Gambit's like, oh, this is my best work. I'm like, super, like, I'm in pain. It's right near the rib cage.
Yeah. The one that I have right here, because I have Live Long and Prosper in Vulcan calligraphy on my side. And even though it's basically just like line work,
Yeah.
it hurt. That hurt. While he gets tattooed, you have Mars on telling how much she loves Tom King. So it'd basically just be a Dan torture episode.
See, I don't. Why is every episode got to be me being tortured? Like, everything is torture for me as it is.
I'm saying that episode would be the one.
I mean, the fact that Mars is talking about having a drunk history comics type show, I right away was like, well, Jen and I need to be on that.
Yeah, for sure. Isn't it?
Cease animation. What did I do to you? Who hurt you? So no, like right away I was like, okay, like I need to be on for a Liefeld episode because I have a Liefeld story that, if true, and I hope to God it's true, is the fucking greatest story ever.
So we're gonna do a Liefeld episode, is what you're saying?
I don't know. I told her, like, if there is one, like, I would go on for that because if this story is true, I hope it is. Like, I really hope it is.
So it's it's not a personal story that you witnessed, but it's like hearsay?
Yes. And it's like, I've heard enough that, like, that if there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
But it all could come from the same place, though, so I don't know.
That is true. It's funny that you say that because I feel like in this age where men are being outed as serial sexual harassers, that is never the case. It's like where there's smoke, there's fire. But I feel like right now with all these like harassment, people are like, well, we need to see proof. We need to see proof that it happened because these people are just accusing and ruining someone's career. Hello.
Like, I know she said Tom King offered to be on, and
yeah,
if she had me on that episode, it would be amusing. Especially if it's Batman history.
I feel like, we did kind of talk about that in last week's episode where we're like, at the end of the day, like creators are creators. And most of the stuff that we say about these creators, we wouldn't say to their face unless it was just like, oh, I really love you. I really love your work. Oh my goodness. This book changed my life. Like we'd say those types of things. But, if Rick Remender was ever on the show, and I would never be like, so is Black Science you trying to like, come clean about cheating on your wife? Like I would probably never say that to someone in person, but it's just, a mediocre thought I have in my brain while reading this shit.
Well, I mean, it'd be like Alan Moore going, are you immortal?
Yeah. Like, did you secretly write the plot to 2020 and how we redeem ourselves in Jerusalem? Because no one fucking read Jerusalem all the way through. But I think that was completely intentional. Like, I think that he wrote this like massive thing of a book intending for no one to actually finish and read it.
You know what? This is a challenge to anybody in the chat, and I think this is worthy of the giveaway.
Read Jerusalem.
Read Jerusalem and write a synopsis review.
All these will be yours.
Send it to DM Jen.
Yeah.
And if you happen to figure out how to save the world from it, do so.
These are yours. Yeah.
If this is really hidden in Jerusalem.
Send it via carrier pigeons, smoke signals, or just DM me. But let me know. Let me know about Jerusalem. I want proof that someone's read it, and I think that means me also reading it. But after doing this 100 graphic novel Descent into Madness challenge, I don't know if I'm doing
Have
this.
you checked if there's a wiki on Jerusalem that actually has like the whole summary?
I have not. So I feel like anyone who tackled Jerusalem would be like, okay, we're going to do this team style. You read this chapter, I'll read this chapter, you read this chapter, whatever. And no one's actually read all of it.
There is a Jerusalem Reddit. 89% people liked it on Goodreads.
I think they're fucking lying. It's like when people say they like stuff like Charles Dickens. Like, you don't like Charles Dickens. You just want to seem like you know shit about literature. That's my perspective anyways, because I hate Charles Dickens.
Apparently 1,888 people read it.
1,088 people are liars.
Okay, first review I found. Once upon a time, there was an old magician. We'll call him not quite Gandalf. Not quite Gandalf quite enjoyed scatological metaphors and smiles and what kids in his day called funny books. Not quite Gandalf, not quite comfortable in his own skin, decided one day that his legacy should not be funny books. So he decided to collect all his unused ideas into one fuck all tome called Jerusalem.
That sounds like a fake review to me. That person didn't.
The point of the opening paragraph is to illustrate Alan Moore's mindset. See what I did here? Illustrate because he writes funny books. I'm clever. That's called wordplay. I'll throw in a shitty metaphor later.
That person only read the first paragraph and didn't go any further. I think that we should do a whole show where we just review reviews of Jerusalem.
Oh boy.
I'm sure someone out there would pay to watch that, right? Or at least watch it for free.
60-hour audio book. It took 10 days to read. Although this person called it brilliant.
That person doesn't remember what they listened to.
60 hours.
So, yeah, even if you listen to it 10 hours a day, it would still get you a week. That to me is just, you're not listening at that point. Like, your mind is wandering. You didn't capture the magic of Jerusalem and the plot.
True Magician's Frank Thorne. He got laid playing all this girls still love.
Yeah.
I'd say Grant Morrison might be the greatest. Or is he an illusionist? I see Grant Morrison being more of an illusionist.
Than like a magician?
A magician, yeah. I mean, I know he said that he summoned John Lennon, but what if he's like the Lord of Illusions from that Clive Barker book? He's got the flare outfit where he looks like he just left like a Mod 70s show. Just a thought.
Yeah.
So winding down, just gonna take a look at what's coming out next week that we might be talking about.
I haven't seen next week. I'm trying to like figure out what all of next week's solicits are. Normally I take a look at like a list and I know like quite ahead of time, but I didn't do that this week to see what next week's coming out.
Coffin Bound number 5. Been a while.
Was the first volume only 4 issues?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. I really enjoyed Coffin Bound. It was wacky and it's weird and it's one of those books that if you ask me what the fucking plot was, I don't know, but it was good. There's a stripper who takes her skin off and then magically heals. And there's like an old Native American person with like that gets their eyes taken out. And then there's this person who like phones her all the time and then progressively has less and less of its person. I don't know.
We got
but it
was good. Ice Cream Man number 20, and it has a Cat in the Hat type cover homage with the Ice Cream Man on it as the Cat in the Hat. The Goddamn Virgin Brides number 2. Firepower by Kirkman and Chris Samney, number 1, resolicited. I don't really care about.
My prediction for what was it called? Firepower. I feel like I've been so disappointed with like anything that Robert Kirkman has been doing that I feel like it's just going to be Mercy. Like I'm just going to be like, it's going to be thrown in my face, and there's going to be so much hype, and then I'm going to go and read it, and I'm going to hate it. My Little Pony Transformers is coming out, and I'm way too excited for this one. I didn't know that was coming out, and I unironically need My Little Pony / Transformers. I need My Little Transformers. My Little Pony Transformers.
Sex Criminals number 30 comes out with a Kevin Wada triple X cover.
Is that going to be the last Sex Criminals, or are they going
No, October ends it.
Got it. So they're going to go up to what, 33, 34?
This, I think 33.
33, okay.
Or 32. Undiscovered Country number 7 comes out. Dark Horse, we have the Alien original screenplay.
I know
1.
Variant Vigilante. I know you're going to be all over that if you're not already.
Oh, it has a Walt Simonson cover, so I'm like completely in there. IDW Crow Leth number 3 of 3 comes out. Cover A is a Peach Momoko cover.
Ooh, so speculators are going to be all over that because she's like the girl.
Friendship in disguise.
Oh my god. Yeah, unironically, just going to love that one.
God, that is hysterical.
Friendship in disguise.
Marvel Comics, I'm already kind of blah. Ant-Man number 4, Avengers of the Wasteland number 4, Black Cat number 12, Captain America 21. Although Vigilante might like it, Conan the Barbarian original Marvel Years Epic Collection, $34.99 here. Deadpool, Doctor Strange, Empire number 4. It's coming out every fucking week.
I went ahead and I got the Empire. I got some of the ones that came out. I have yet to read them except for the one X-Men. I was flipping through. Yeah, and I mildly enjoyed it. So I may actually start reading that whole stuff. Who knows?
That was the one to the X-Men one because of what Scarlet Witch did. She did something pretty major.
Okay.
And undid what Grant Morrison did during his run. Yeah. Giant Size X-Men Phantom X number 1. Lords of the Empire Celestial Messiah number 1. Maestro Future Imperfect, Marvel Tales. Star Wars number 5. Thor third printing of Thor number 3. I'm just gonna skip past Dynamite, Boom Studios. Surprised you didn't pick up Willow.
Willow number 2 came out.
I think that was this week.
I think that's next week.
Well, I guess King of Nowhere number 4.
Man, I've been loving that. That's a wild, wacky, like sci-fi series that I have no clue what's going on, but I enjoy where it's taking me. It's good.
The Indies. Finger Guns number 4. I know you were reading that. Or I think you were.
I got up to issue. I just did issue 1. I didn't read all 3 of them because I picked up the first 3 last week or the week before. So I've only read issue 1.
Heathen number 12.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried reading Money Shot repeatedly. It's just not that good.
So my perspective on Money Shot. So I don't know if it's because I read Safe Sex like right near Money Shot, and not necessarily that they're the same, but so Safe Sex on one hand is basically this weird dystopian like Handmaid's Tale type future where people are only allowed to be like monogamous, and you basically have to do paperwork every time you have sex. Like you have to file your paperwork that you had sex with a partner that you already have. And it's about this group of queer people and just like sex positive, kinky people who are having fun and just living life to the fullest in a very safe, consensual way. And they get taken down, and then this new government comes through and states all this like Handmaid's Tale type stuff, and they have to break someone out who was kidnapped. Fantastic. Sex positive, kink positive, absolutely loved it. Money Shot, on the other hand, I thought that I was also really into it, but Tim Seeley writes it, and I feel like it's as like sex positive as like a straight white male can be, if that makes sense. Like I feel it didn't. There was a couple of things that happened, like even the first page, like one of the main characters, the whole thing with Money Shot is oh, we're doing research and we don't have money for research, and basically everyone is just tired of porn, and porn given to the masses, people just need more and more extreme stuff. So how are we going to get money for funding? Oh, well, what we're going to do is we're going to launch ourselves into space and we're going to fuck aliens and live stream it. And I feel like the narratives in it were not sex positive. They didn't really have the conversations about consent and things like that. So, yeah. Sorry I bore you.
No. So from DC Comics, we have Batman number 96. We get more of the I'm the punchline. Because you're the joke.
But you're the joke, and she's the punchline. She's the punchline. Do you get it, though? Do you get it that she's the punchline?
Let me repeat it again to see if you understand that I'm the punchline.
You're the joke, and she's the punchline.
The 1 in 25 Jorge Jimenez variant will be the one people are looking for because it is the design cover of the Joker Hunter. Yep, that is a thing.
Joker well, then Hunter. there's the Joker War, and then there's the 3 Jokers, and now there's the Joker Hunter.
Then there's Dark Knights, Death Metal, Legends of the Dark Knights, number 1 shot. There's a 1 in 25 Care Andrews cover introducing the Robin King. And that one, Andrew from Comics Campaign posted an image from eBay, and one was selling for $400.
Yeah, the joke is already. The hype, and the punchline is on eBay. That's a good one. People I feel like it's... When does a fucking crossover come out? That Rickroll of a title, man. I'm so salty about that shit.
I think November, December. I'm not sure.
My dumbass is still going to pick that one up.
Deceased Dead Planet number 2 comes out. A bunch of covers for that. The Dreaming Waking Hours number 1 comes out. G. Willow Wilson and Nick Robles. Far Sector number 7 comes out. Stepan Sejic variant cover on that one.
Okay, that kind of surprises me. I mean, maybe it's because I just know him more. Whenever I think of him, I think of Sunstone. So I'm like, what are you going to do to Joe from Far Sector?
Justice League 50. Strange Adventures number 4, which I feel like that's come out like every 2 weeks lately. I might be wrong. It just feels like we've just gotten that recently. So, I guess we're going to be talking about Tom King again next week.
Boy, howdy. Can't wait.
Wonder Woman number 1 facsimile edition, the George Perez one from 1987.
I'll probably pick that one up for sure.
I love that George Perez run. The Young Justice number 17 with a Mirka Andolfo variant. And then the Preacher 25th Anniversary Omnibus, which I will be picking up and carrying home very heavily next Wednesday, and then hugging for a bit because I just spent a lot of money on it. That is about it.
Sorry, my cat wanted up. My other cat. I'm very popular with the cats around here.
Are you going to get 2 more cats and have one called Joke and one Punchline?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. No, He's the joke. She's the punchline. Aw. Did you get all your art hung up?
I did not. I have. I went ahead and bought a whole bunch of very like naughty prints, like 10 of them, and I'm not even gonna like. They're so fucking filthy. But I accidentally ordered the wrong sized frames because I thought that they were 8x10s when in fact they're 8.5x11s. So I have 10 of them that I need to do. So did not get all my art.
Are they all Peter Steele?
No, I wish. I love rest in power, my dude.
I accidentally I was looking up something by Typo Negative, and boy, there's quite a few like websites on him.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
His legacy.
Yeah, it's
being in Playgirl is just.
Oh, most were not even that. It was just like pictures. He has fanfic.
There's Peter Steele fanfic. Okay, I need to look this up.
Yeah, there is Peter Steele erotica.
Yeah, there is.
Pete Rodica. Peter
Rodica.
Steele Rodica.
Typo Rodica.
Yeah. They're so Sanimation. If you're still watching, it's out there. So just you can live. If it might be even you writing them, I don't know.
It could be. Please send them to me on CD-ROM.
No, you're floppy.
Yeah, that's true. I
not that you probably have anything that can play floppy disks.
I don't like seriously. I have a PlayStation and an iPad. Like I don't even have. I mean, I have a computer, but I got rid of my monitor when I moved, so I don't have like a monitor to put it on.
Just
I don't
put it on.
really...
Just put it on DAT tape. Oh wait.
Yeah.
So I think we've hit pretty close to the end.
Yeah.
Well, this is the end. This is the end, my friend.
My only friend. The end. This is why we lose followers, is because.
So thank you for everybody who joined in, watched, listened to us ramble. There were quite a lot of books this week. We got the hate out of the way early. I was lukewarm on a couple, like lukewarm to the positive, but next week it will be a later episode, either probably Wednesday or Thursday, depending when you want to do it. Since I'm off, we can kind of go whenever.
Monday through Friday till after 5, or possibly Saturday or Sunday, any day.
Okay, well, we'll just talk about what day you want to do. So thank you, everybody, and join us next week. And take care. Goodbye. Be safe. Wear your mask and wash your hands. 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Read the litany against fear while you're.
And just please take care of yourselves and stay safe.